Y'all, UFOs have seemingly taken a little bit of a back burner recently due to current events that are happening in the world. But just because they're not being posted as often doesn't mean that people aren't seeing them. I mean, even tomorrow, News Nation is set to air an interview with a whistleblower and a crash retrieval video. So that should be huge. There's even rumors, like from Greer, saying that tomorrow we should be getting disclosure. A lot of interesting things to come. Until then, let's check out some awesome UFO sightings that have been leaving people scratching their heads. Starting again with New Jersey. Yes, there are still things happening there, with people now seeing what they're calling the drones taking the delta formations that UFOs are usually taking. Take a look. That video comes from UFO Bloke, and it is very strange how they're kind of just sitting up there in the Delta Formation, especially after knowing that with the events that happened in November, December, they started restricting fly zone and not allowing drones in certain areas. So what are they doing there? Next, we have an interesting sighting that you may want to take with a grain of salt. It comes from Area 51 and showcases what seems to be like a gunfight between our military and UFO. However, people that live close by say that there is a shooting range in Area 51 for specialized and secret weapons. So it's quite possible that instead of us fighting a UFO, this could be just us training weapons that aren't really out to the public. Take a look and let me know what you think. I did find it interesting, and honestly, it even gave me some obviously CGI vibes. However, there have been people that tested it and checked the light reflections and say that it seems like it might be legit, but again, not necessarily anomalous. It could just be that firing range testing secret weapons. Next, UFO Mania posted an insane video of a UFO allegedly landing. This happened in Doncaster House, South Yorkshire. And I don't know how I feel about it. Smash like and subscribe and take a look. Now, some are claiming that it's edited, but I don't think so. The vibrancy, the light reflection, the halo on the floor, it does look very legit. Other are pushing towards a modded out drone, and that is quite possible. We don't have more footage because the security camera captures the movement, and then like once it stops recording. And the owner said that when by the time they came out, there was nothing there. So they have no idea what the hell that was. So it's up to us to decide. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Next, I want you to check out this awesome footage put out by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp on their Weaponized podcast. It showcases a gimbal UFO, but it's infrared military footage, and you can actually see the shape of the craft, which makes the video all the more interesting. Sound off in the comments with your thoughts on this.
Tell me your name, what you were doing in Iraq, your unit, what your role was.
Matt Davis, United States Marine Corps. The unit was 1st Light Armored Reconnaissance Battalion. I was a scout with that unit. We're doing anti-terrorism, just operations in Iraq. We had huge areas of overwatch to do, just doing patrols to the desert, and just like prevent any kind of enemy movement, clear villages, set up vehicle checkpoints, do night operations. Day, we're always operating. It was nonstop. So the LEV vehicles have 3 crewmen a driver, a gunner, and the vehicle commander, and 4 scouts, team leader, machine gunner, point man, like a grenader, stuff like that. We would take tactical pauses, you know what I mean? I'm waiting for my more orders, so we like set up in coils, which is like a 360-degree security. There's 4 LAVs, which is 2 sections, Alpha and Bravo.
What's an LAV, by the way?
It's a light armored vehicle. It's got a 25 millimeter Bushmaster cannon, 240 Bravo machine gun on top with the 240 coax. And at all times, there's 2 scouts popped up in the rear. We do area route, zone reconnaissance, and just operations, you know. So if we need to get somewhere fast, we have those vehicles. We assess scouts. We can dismount, you know, clear sections, use the vehicles for overwatch, go and do assaults, you know, on buildings or just clear areas, just all that type of stuff.
And what's the video you sent me?
So me taking myself back this particular evening, maybe 100 miles from the Syrian border, we set up a coil, which is a 360-degree security. And basically I was looking at the thermals and the gunner's seat. You know, I'm just doing my observation in the desert, you know, just kind of scanning back and forth, making sure nobody's going to sneak up on us. I can pop up for a minute out of the turret, come back down and look to these thermals. I remember seeing something. I didn't laze it to see the exact how many meters it was away, but it's me observing it. I'm going to say it's probably about 200 meters. I kind of seen something raise up, an object kind of come off the floor from that distance. And I was like, well, what is that? You know, I was talking to myself, and I would probably say it went about 25 meters off the ground. And I seen it sway to the left, stop, and then sway back to the right. Maybe within like from that center point that it raised up to that 25 meters, 20 meters, it swayed about 30 to 50 meters to the left. And then coming back to that center point it originally raised up from, it went another 30 to the right and came back and started elevating upward. And I was like, this is weird. What the hell is this? I grabbed my camera. I had a little black Pelican case, popped it open, and it started filming. So I was looking through my camera screen and seen it raise up and keep continually raising. And on that thermal with the reticle, there's a little center dot, which is like your center visual. So I seen it raise up and I was following it with the turret, just raising the turret up as I, you know, so the barrel's gonna go. But I could tell it wasn't a plane or a helicopter. It was kind of a consistent speed shooting upward, not super fast, but it was just almost kind of like a floating object. And it just, there was nothing out in that area that we would have been operating. If there was, we would have known about it. Definitely the enemy didn't have any kind of helicopters or anything, or any helos or aircrafts. I knew it was 100% worthy of filming a video. I was like, I knew it was something out of the ordinary. So I filmed it. You know, as I was filming, I was like, oh, this has this shape. I wasn't thinking that. I was like, oh, this is just a strange object I'm seeing come off the ground and, you know, swayed to the left, you know, to the right, and then went upward and kind of didn't go straight up, but it kind of like veered a little bit and kind of, you know, almost like a back and forth motion. It just kept kind of going up. And I went so high up, I was like, dude, somebody's going to like see this barrel pointing straight up in the air. And like, what the hell is this guy doing? I knew it wasn't right. And yeah, I really should have. It was like, hey, you guys, I saw something right now. It's coming off the desert floor, you know, going upward. And I wish I continued to film it. To be honest, Jeremy, I wish I kept going, but I was like, man, I got to stop.
You look at this thing, it doesn't have rotors. It doesn't have a tail. It's symmetrical looking. It doesn't have rotor wash. You weren't seeing any of that. The shape is fucking weird.
Like almost like a dish looking thing with like something kind of slightly protruding out of that top, maybe.
Everything you knew about that area made that object ridiculous.
100%. The way it came off the ground, I was like, man, I'm grabbing my camera, filming this.
When you see it go up and you stop filming, did it just continue going up, or did you see what happened after you stopped aiming the barrel at it, or are you just like, I gotta stop?
I gotta stop, and I didn't see anything. I don't know where it went. I don't know if it continued or stopped or went somewhere else, but
you're in an active combat zone. Is this correct?
That's correct.
You're estimating the things 200 meters away. You should have known if something was out there, right?
Yes.
So you would know if something was a craft of that size at 200 meters away. Like, you would be aware if it's our government launching it. Like, you'd be aware if there was enemies 200 meters away.
That was was so interesting and allegedly an exclusive video. I do like how they compared it to the gimbal. It does look very similar. What I find most interesting about this video is that it has the traditional saucer with the dome top look to it. Like this is from 2008, so it is a little bit older, but we've been seeing a lot of, orbs lately, metallic spheres, tic tac UFOs, and the term flying saucer came from, things like this. We haven't seen one of these traditional flying saucers in a while. So I don't know. It's just so cool to see. I'm really appreciative of Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. I think they're doing amazing work. I do think sometimes they may get led astray, but I feel like we all do because we're all trying to parse this information together. So I appreciate their podcast and everything that they do. And hopefully we get more info tomorrow. Like I said, we're supposed to get disclosure. There's going to be another whistleblower interview. So we're going to see what happens. Jeremy Corbell seems to think that they're going to say that there are UFOs heading towards Earth and they're going to be here by 2027, but that is a lie and that they're already here. Now, I can't verify that claim because, I mean, how would I? So that's up to you to decide what's actually going on. Check out that compilation right there and those paranormal videos right there.